Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of PERMADEATH Timberborn. Episode 11, I can't believe we've reached here. We've managed to keep the beavers alive for quite a lot of cycles now. And if you don't know what the PERMADEATH series is, check out the description because you're going to see some weird things in here like why aren't we using aquifers to create water? Simple answer to that, there's only one water source and that's in the middle of that crater, which a couple of episodes ago I flooded by making another typical mistake. But we're going to jump straight into where we are. I'm going to be honest, the long video for this, I'm making them an hour long, and it was a bit stagnant. There's not much going on. That's because the previous drought pretty much took out our whole colony of beavers. And when we get to that stage, it takes so long to build them back up again. We also have a berry shortage, which I tried to answer in this episode. And one of the things I need to do is get these beavers to have the birthing pods on all the way through a drought. And that drought could be 120, 130 days, which will definitely take us out at the moment. So I needed to focus on water storage. It was a bit of a disaster. Nothing really happened. We couldn't produce metal bars. It was a lot of management moving things around, but it didn't sort of stop the progress of, okay, we need water, we need to store it. So we're going to carry on the design of building this water storage and pumping stations over Reservoir 1. I've kind of changed the numbering of the reservoirs. This one, we used to call this one 2, but actually it's connected to 1, so it should be that. We've got 1, 2, and the mega project at the back, which is number 3. And all of the progress on those can be seen on the videos. They're pretty much titled how they are, so you can see all the build of those. And hopefully by now, if you've watched a few of these, you see I'm a pretty crazy builder. I like to do things a little bit strange. Certainly making the food district, which was an interesting put together. And I've got another idea for the future where we're going to make an underground water tunnel. Can we make it on day 1 after a drought that every single reservoir, 1, 2, and 3, gets water from day 1? And I think that's going to be like a critical play for the future. We can't have colonies just relying on this one to deliver water through the district crossings. And that's kind of what we're doing right now. We want to get away from that. I've got this idea of an underground water tunnel. I have no idea if it's going to work. I've never done one before. It's going to be a bit strange where we end up flooding the pumps because we are going to have to pump it from level 1 up to whatever level the reservoir is working at. And we know for a fact Reservoir 3 is a mammoth. That one is huge. And I guess this kind of challenge to myself is coming from watching this. It still takes a good 26 days to fill Reservoir 2. If we get hit with a drought after 5 days, which is possible, it's happened to me before, we're going to have a problem. But here you can see the sort of layout I'm doing. I've put a metro station in the middle of all of this, and that's simply because these water tanks up here are only meant to supply the ones in the main colony. And it's quick for the people, the beavers, not people, the beavers that are working the pumping stations will take the water to the storage, and then the haulers will take the water from the storage back down to the main storage area. So all of the beavers have access to it quickly, which means they get back to work quicker. And it just becomes much more practical to have the colony produce and build quicker. So the metro system always comes up into one of these areas. It gets them to work quicker. It gets the water out quicker too. I didn't put one on the other side. I need to do that. And that's probably another future episode, but now I'm just trying to play around with the dynamite and just build this new pumping station to the best of my ability around what we've got. And I like to work on a flat level, and the Reservoir 2 is hit base. It can't go any lower than it actually is, so it's a good one to start at. But now let's jump over to our food district. This is where my metal was going. I just couldn't build the water storage areas. I just didn't know what was going on. It was basically because I'd made some stuff, primary build over here that I'd forgotten about. So when you watch the long video, there's this part while I'm trying to follow a beaver with a metal plank, and I lose them so many times, it just got embarrassing. While I was over here when I worked that out, I thought, you know what, let's just level the ground and make the farming better. We also needed to create more berries. We've got no food and the berries aren't there. And if the berries aren't there, they're not producing birthing pods for new baby beavers. So the idea was let's just remove some of this farmland, which they're not collecting anyway, and use it for a berry field. And we are just bringing that together with setting up the restraints for the water flow through the food district, and basic so I don't flood it. And I as you've noticed right now, I'm pretty good at flooding things on these series. I get so excited, I see the dynamite and I blow it without looking, and that's caused me a lot of trouble on this build so far. We've got a resource problem. We're not creating enough metal blocks with the build that I've got going, and I'm pushing it. At the end of this episode, I'm running it to another drought. I don't know how long that drought is, but I am really pushing it. I don't have any water storage. You can see there's only 4,000 stored at the moment. The reservoir only lasts, about 56 days of water in there before it all comes out. And we have to turn off the birthing pods. And by the time it gets to the next cycle, 30, 40 beavers, which means we survive, but we're not expanding. And I need a lot more beavers to live through the drought without turning the birthing pods off. And that can only be done by this water storage and having enough beavers to actually pump the water out. And that's going to be a problem in the future, where we need robots. The robots are going to have to power the water pumping stations. It means they can run 24/7, and the other beavers can go about and do other things where they don't have to worry about that. So I'm using every bit of space possible on this reservoir to make water storage, to make water pumping stations, and make it as efficient as I possibly can. And this was pretty much the whole hour spent doing this and trying to get the beavers to build something, and there was not a lot of progress, sadly, at all, which is leading me to do these videos a different way. As you know, if you've been watching this for a while, this is my first go at content creation, so I'm learning as I go. And when you come to Timberborn, you kind of forget that you get to that mid-game where nothing's happening. It takes a long time to build stuff. You've got these mega projects that have been designed, as you can see here. Just think how much metal's involved in those metal platforms. They take like 12 metal blocks. They've got 30 wood in them and 30 planks in them. And until Metal District comes online and is built, I don't have the timber and I don't have the metal to be able to do it. Even this that I'm building here, this metro, I've already used 2 scaffolds to get it across there, and the actual tube itself needs a lot of metal to build it. So this is going to take an awful long time to build, and I'm trying to work out the best strategy to do it. So when you watch the long episodes now, we're going to do an hour of build, and we're going to focus that build on a specific task, and then I'm going to let it run. I'm not going to build anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to interfere as much as I possibly can. Obviously, I might have to turn a few things on and off to make sure that they're doing what they need to be doing. But that way, we're not doing many episodes of not a lot happening. It's not fun to play, and it's actually even less fun to watch, which I'm learning. And hopefully the next series I do after this, we're going to change the rules. We're going to move a few things around to make it better. But the journey's exciting. I hope you're excited to keep following the development of this. And here is the shot of what we're doing. Top right, Metal District under construction. Middle left, we have food. We have our new water storage in the middle of Reservoir 1. And in the background, we have our mega project of Reservoir 3. So if you're excited to see how it goes or what happens in the future, I'm very happy to have you all. Please feel free to comment, and let's build a friendly community. And as we do that, take care of yourselves and each other. See you soon.